Hey guys, I'm gonna it back here for another video, guys. Today we have an all Notre Dame college team. Now, personally, I love Notre Dame. That's my favorite college, so this is actually kind of fun to build. And it is actually one of the most complete theme teams I have built so far. We have built, like, I think 4 or 5 college theme teams. We have a playlist on the channel if you want to check them out. But we built, like, Michigan, Alabama, LSU, etc. Well, in Ohio State, too. This is an all Notre Dame squad. So starting off right away, we start off with our quarterback, Joe Montana. Ian Book is also another player part of the squad. Running back-wise, we have Kyron Williams and the Bus. Wide receivers, we have Romeo Dubs. I think it's Dubs, I believe. We have St. Brown, we have Chase Claypool, and we have Ben. Offensive line, we have Ronnie Stanley, Quentin Nelson, Aaron Banks. We have Robert Hainsley and Zach Martin. Tight ends, we have Cole Kmet, Tommy Tremble, and Michael Mayer. Defensively here, we have Nick McLeod, Harrison Smith, Isaiah Foskey, the Ajo Monte Teo, which, you know, if you think of Notre Dame and, you know, past players, he's probably the guy you think of. If you don't know who Monte Teo is, was one of the, honestly, the best linebackers, in my opinion, of all time at Notre Dame. And he's the one who had the fake girlfriend. He had a girlfriend online that he thought was real. She ended up not being real, etc. I think she claimed she had like some kind of disease or something happened to her. So the whole team rallied behind him and they all fought that season for her. They ended up going undefeated, but then losing in the national championship. And the whole thing was, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This was all for his girlfriend. Well, his girlfriend, never existed. So, yeah. It was a huge thing. With that being said, we have Jeremiah Kolomoa right here at the second middle linebacker spot. Now, of course, like many of these college teams, I never recommend just rocking just the college team by itself. You should always go ahead and get, you know, multiple college teams and put them together. Just because every college team, they don't always translate very well into Madden because not every single player who's good in college ends up being good in the NFL, right? So there's not always like a one-to-one comparison. So you might have a legend college guy that doesn't translate very well into the NFL. And actually, there's one player I think I might be missing. Hang on. Where did Ricky Williams go to college? Oh, no, he went to the University of Texas. Okay, never mind. I don't know why I thought he went to Notre Dame for a second. But yeah, so for example, like linebacking core is kind of weak outside Monte Teo and Jeremiah. Strong safety, we have Julian Love, we have Kyle Hamilton. And I had to use the safeties at the cornerback positions too because there isn't any cornerbacks who are good in the NFL from Notre Dame. You know, and it's just a kind of a negative of some college teams is some college teams, they produce amazing players, but only at certain positions. So, like, for example, if you want a pass rusher, you're probably going to Alabama, right? You want a defensive lineman, you're going to Alabama. If you want a running back, you could go to Alabama, you go to Texas. There's a couple different colleges. A wide receiver, you're probably going to LSU. And then so on and so on, right? So every college has a specialty of what position they usually produce the best players at. Cornerback is not something for Notre Dame. I mean, they produce Monte Teo, Jeremiah, really solid linebackers, and Harrison Smith, safeties-wise, absolutely amazing safeties in the NFL today. But when it comes to corners, they're simply lacking in that department. And then the defensive line also is kind of a little wishy-washy. Some of these guys, I mean, over time, it's very possible that they sought to grow and become better players. But at this moment in time, yeah, there are definitely interesting options. Now, in all honesty, you know, I looked through like 17 or 18 different lists of players that could potentially came from Notre Dame who are in the NFL, and all the players that were obviously shown on the screen right here are in Madden. The other players aren't in Madden, but the other players aren't really that good. And what's sad is when you go through a lot of these college teams, right, and I go down the list of all the Notre Dame players, a lot of these Notre Dame players, you know, are from like the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So, and again, unless they get legend cards like Tim Brown, for example, legend Tim Brown, wide receiver, who played for the Raiders. He came from Notre Dame, but he doesn't have a card in Madden. And like, for example, it's very possible he ends up getting a card in Madden, but some of these other players are not going to probably ever get cards. So it is just, again, like I said, just a product of not having ability to go through every single player possible. And again, a lot of these colleges, they have really great players from the history in the past, but not as many nowadays. I feel like there's not as many, like, crazy draft player coming from colleges. But again, you also got to keep in mind that there's so many colleges out there that, it's very possible. Like, for example, Cincinnati produced Travis Kelce, also Jason Kelce, two probably going to be definite Hall of Famers one day. They also produced Sauce Gardner, who is, again, another really great star player. So, Cincinnati's not the biggest college out there. So, you look at Cincinnati and you're like, oh, yeah, that's a smaller school, not really a big deal. And then you realize they produce two Hall of Famers and potentially a third, depending on how Sauce Gardner plays the rest of his career. So, again, there's a lot of, things to look at when it comes to these colleges, but at the end of the day, usually it's like kind of wishy-washy around the whole entire thing. It's like, hey, this college, this is the guy from that college. When you think of Louisville, who do you think about? Lamar Jackson, right? Louisville had Lamar Jackson. He was the big guy. And when you do a Louisville, theme team in Madden, Lamar Jackson is number one, and I don't know who else even went to Louisville, right? Especially some of these smaller colleges. Because small colleges, these players might have been like the best player possible at that college because it's a smaller school and smaller competition. Because again, keep in mind, when you're going to college for football, you want to go to the biggest school possible to have the best chance to get to the NFL. You want to be in the Big Ten, right? You want to be in the SEC. You don't want to be in a very small conference because you're not going to get seen or shown, or really, unless you're like the best player of all time, you're not really going to be out there. So it is what it is at the end of the day. Again, if you're going to take this team right here, they have a great offensive line. They really do. And I would probably take this team, maybe add the receiving core from Alabama, and take the defense from Alabama. And I think that would be a really good option to go with. And you can even throw in LSU or Ohio State if you really wanted to, and I don't think it will be that bad. Honestly, I think the best way to do this, and we might do this in the future if you guys are enjoying the series, is I might start to go ahead and do like a Big Ten type college situation, where I add Big Ten college, like I just do a whole Big Ten theme team, so I can have a little bit more of a, unified, great theme team. So tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, though, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.